rise from ash. Jade, lavender, and scarlet phoenix power. Together we will rise. They tried to burn us, we bloom like a flower. They didn't know we had a phoenix's power. Phoenix power.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Jade Feinics, and I am back. I have survived 3 surgeries and MAGFest. So, woo! And the new year and everything else. And I am not alone. I am with, of course, our boy Crimson. What's up, buddy? How you doing? How you doing?
How's it going?
Wait, where's your shit? I forgot your sound. There it is. Just gonna use that for now. What's up? How you
How's it
doing, buddy?
Going good. It's going good.
Yeah. And we are joined from out in the great beyond, back in Maryland, where we just were all weekend. We're joined by our lovely and amazing Turnip. Hi, baby.
Hi, how are you guys doing tonight?
Welcome to the Phoenix Gate, Turnip. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here. This is my first podcast. This is so much fun.
You've never done a podcast? What is it with me
I've
and taking
never
your
done a
cherries?
I know you did first MAGFest, first podcast, all the firsts.
All the firsts.
First time going to the New York Ren Fair.
Experience.
Yes. Well, yeah, welcome to my show, and welcome to podcasting in general, and you're going to have a great time. Just, be aware, random sounds will pop out of nowhere for no reason, simply because they're funny.
Perfect.
But
I love that.
yeah. But obviously, your girl survived her 3 surgeries. I had the one in December, then I had another one in December, and then I had one literally the day after we came back from MAG. So, holy fucking shit, fans. Like, oh my God, Phoenix family, what the fuck? Your girl is chopped. Like, she's not good. She's not good. So, that's why Crimson's been really stepping it up a little bit, aren't you, buddy?
Yes.
That's what you call stepping up?
I mean, I'm just agreeing because I have been helping you out. So
You have. You really have. I appreciate it.
yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so MAGFest, guys. This was my 4th MAGFest. I took their cherries. I have a history of taking almost every single person that I've ever gone to MAGFest with, I have taken your cherry. Starting all the way back to when the Phoenix Gate had Chocobo Butt on our show for a while. Like when she was a voice here. I took her MAGFest cherry. She goes back every year now. What else? Our own Lavender. I took her cherry last year. She came with us last year. Unfortunately, she had an emergency last second and couldn't come with us to this year. Otherwise, she'd be here talking about it. I took Scarlet's cherry along with Cam. So yeah, every single person who's been associated with the Phoenix Gate, I've taken a MAGFest and I've taken their cherry. I'm very proud of this.
I'm at half-mast. I need to hear this.
So now here's my thing.
Mhm.
You've been to KatsuCon, correct?
Yes, many times.
And it is in the exact same place as MAG, which is known as the Gaylord Resort down in, Maryland, which, is...
And I would say, too, it's also very similar time frames, like weather-wise, travel-wise.
Yeah, they're about a month apart. Yeah.
I think it's almost an exact month.
Almost
this
an
year.
exact month this year. But for the last couple of years, it was only like 2-3 weeks in between.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was because they had like the conventions and shit for the Orange Menace in charge.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, oh my goodness. That was hilarious last year at Katsu.
Really?
Because they still had at Katsu last year the signage and the tables and all of the stuff up for it. So we all walk in full ready, full tilt to cosplay, Wednesday night, and there's still a Young Republicans convention going on. And it was very, very intriguing to see the reactions of these, young Republicans at this convention watching the weebs overtake the gazebo and the photos were already being taken on Wednesday, and that was a fun time to watch from our hotel room.
You
Was to
done
watch the
That's amazing.
the odd interactions.
What did he say?
Yeah, no, I don't think I would be able to control my fist if one of those people came up and talked to me.
Yeah. Luckily, they stayed away. They were, I think, very shocked. And I don't think any of the costumes I saw were anything like ridiculously like ostentatiously anime, right? Like they were just like very well done costumes, almost like a little bit more like the Ren Fair had come into town kind of a thing. But I think luckily they all kind of just they were tired from their weekend. They left us alone. We definitely went nowhere near any of them.
Of course not.
So it was just funny, the weird looks in the elevators.
They weren't ready.
She wasn't ready.
They weren't ready.
She wasn't ready.
It's like, and what makes me laugh every year is so MAG was very different this year because it was a first time it has ever been closed profile. And for those of you out in the Feinics fan world, closed profile means that you cannot just walk into the hotel where everything is and just lobby con. Where previous years you could just you didn't even need to have a badge to get into the convention itself to go to all the extracurricular stuff that you could go to, like the vendors room, the game room, all the concerts, all the oh my god, help me out here, the concerts, the
Workshops.
thank you, all that
Portals.
stuff, portal, yeah, all that stuff you need a badge for. But if you're lobby conning, then you just basically stay around the atrium, the fountain, the the gazebo, and you don't need to worry about anything else. So cosplayers were able to just show up and just chill there, get fucking photos, hang out with their friends, and then eventually end up at a party.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plus, like, they weren't, like, security is still what it was. It's all volunteers and people on staff who, shout out to them, because they really kicked ass this year.
They did, yeah.
But you were always, sometimes you were able to get through into the other parts without a badge. Sometimes. I mean, it is a 24-hour convention. People are going to just be like, just go, leave me alone, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So, but this year, they really cracked down on it, which I think made it a lot more pleasurable. You guys have never experienced it not being closed.
I haven't, but at the same time, I can understand because I have been to other events. I've even helped run some events, not to this scale, but
No.
I understand how it is where it's just like, yeah, you just start letting in randos.
Anime NYC is bigger, though.
Oh, yeah, no, of course. But I'm saying, like, in terms of, like, just letting in random people, like anyone who just...
Yeah, anybody off the street could come in.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When it's something that's, like, I guess you could say, quote-unquote, free
Yeah.
to do, it's just, like, anyone can show up. That means even, like, the bozos.
They
and
did.
And then, like,
Oh, they did.
Oh, yeah. No.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I kind of, so like for the past 3 MAGFests, they were not closed. So for me, I always felt it was always insanely way more crowded. Like, and Turnip, as you know, from Katsu, the gazebo is 99.9% of the time occupied. There is no getting near that gazebo unless it's like, 2-3 o'clock in the morning at Katsu.
Yeah.
And at MAG, I felt like we didn't have to fight to go into the gazebo, near the gazebo, or even take pictures in the gazebo if we wanted to.
Well, and that's something that I was gonna say too, is like if you use like Katsu on the scale, nearly just being from the same convention center, right? The big thing that you notice with cons that are open is that you have, and I think there's like a pro and a con to this, right? I don't live anywhere near where there are no longer any big conventions in Louisville, right? They used to have a couple and they got kind of booted out. But I don't live near any big conventions, right?
Damage.
We don't like that for you.
It sucks. But I think having like it open is nice for the people who live in Maryland, that this is their like home convention center. It's, a hop, skip, and a jump, like my family, right? Where I'm staying right now with my family, they're only with traffic an hour away from the convention center, right?
Mhm.
So going to like Katsu, my younger sibling, they've gone to Katsu 2 times now, just getting a day badge and going one day, right? Like they go for one day, they experience it, they go home, right?
Right.
And I think when it comes to like cons having that open ability to, you can walk in, and if like say for example, I don't want to buy a badge, but I live 20 minutes from the hotel, but I love getting, Gaylord photos, having it open is not that much of a detriment. But I do think it does kind of alleviate the people who lobby con even though they're staying there, right? Where they're like, well, I didn't buy a badge, I don't do any of the things, I'm just here for the parties. And I feel like with Katsu being far less about the panels, and far more about the content, it doesn't make sense for something like Katsu to be closed, right? Like it would
Yeah.
never make sense for them. But for MAGFest, being that like say like put it in perspective for like the people who have not been to one of these conventions. Imagine like Thursday, Friday, right? Day 0, day 1, being what I would say is like a shopping mall full of people like a month before Christmas, right?
Yeah.
People are there. You've got a lot of people, but there's space to move around. It is a little overwhelming. It is a little loud, but it's nothing crazy. And then if you think about, Saturday being the peak, that's what I would say the levels of whatever comes out of a baseball stadium when the game is over. That is what you're dealing with people wise, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah, and so it becomes like so many people. But if you think about that mass of people leaving a space, it's fine to handle for 5 minutes. But when you're in a convention center where that's what you're milling through to go do anything,
Yeah.
it's a lot. And I think that it was really nice with MAGFest to go to this to experience a 24-hour convention. With it being closed, you didn't have such a ginormous jump from, okay, there may be in my square footage of area 20 people to then all of a sudden now there's 100 people in my little bubble.
Yeah.
It was still a small amount. So you were still able, you could find people. Like that's a big
Surprisingly.
problem surprisingly, that's a big problem that the Gaylord has as well as Katsu, is like it gets so overwhelming with so many people, you cannot find your friends.
And the
Heaven
service
forbid
in there
you
is
you're
just trash.
yeah, there is no service, there's
None.
no way to find your friends. Like if you aren't rooming with people, you don't see them,
Yep.
right? And with MAGFest being closed, it really felt like I ran into my friends so easy. There were so many times that we could be standing there and I'd say, "Hey, let's go to the gazebo. They say they're over there," and we found them in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was so much nicer and it felt safer too.
It
Because at
did.
Katsu, there is this feeling of like, there's too many people. I don't know who staff is. I can't find staff. I don't know where these places are. I can't get to. If I wanted to get to the medic, I don't know where that is because also Katsu is notorious for not having signs for things.
Oh, yeah.
But like MAGFest had signs for everything pointing to where you needed to go. They also had signs that told you like this is where you are, which is great
Yeah.
because it's so often that you look at the guidebook and you're like, okay, well, I don't know where the main atrium is.
Especially if you've
And
never been
MAGFest
there
had
before.
signs. Exactly. And MAGFest had signs that said this is where the main atrium is. You're here. And it was really, really nice. So it's like it felt safer. It is a lot. If you've never been to a convention, I think MAGFest would be intense because it is 24 hours,
Yeah.
all day, every day, so many people. But I think that having gone to other conventions where there have been far more people, far more like taxing environments to go through, MAGFest felt so homey.
It
It
did.
was just like, and people were nice. People would talk to you. Katsu, people don't talk to you.
No.
There-
Katsu is
there's
elitist
no-
con. I've said this thousands of times. I'll never change my stance on that. Ever.
It's networking. And when I talk to people, I'm not trying to network. I like the costume you're wearing. I love the show that it's from. I love the manga. I love the obscure video game. I want to, talk to you about it.
Mhm.
I don't care who you are. what your follower count is. That's not, that's not at the end of the day why I'm chatting with you. And I think at MAGFest, it was refreshing to have a convention that you could talk to someone and not feel like they were doing that like weird, polite, like, oh my God, thank you. Yeah.
Like, oh, let's exchange business
Yeah.
cards so that way I can never,
Yeah, it
ever
wasn't-
deal with you or follow you.
Yep. It wasn't like that. And it was so nice to be able to it was so nice. There was a lot of pros to MAGFest. There were some cons,
We'll get
but
there.
a lot of it was a con. LOL.
Hey, I see what you did there.
Thank you. I'm pretty proud of that one.
You
But
should be.
It was nice. I enjoyed it overall. I want to go back.
Oh, we're going back next year. Kidding me?
Oh, for sure.
What about you, Crimson? Like, this was your first huge 24-hour con, but I've brought you to other bigger conventions before.
At least for me, like I actually, because I did work for part of it too.
Well, that's on you.
Well, I mean that's not really me on me. It's more my job, but
Anyways.
no, I mean for my first time at MAG, it was a pretty interesting experience. And kind of piggybacking on what Turnip was saying too before, where it's just like it made it so much easier to find people because I can only imagine. I know how big of a difference it could be between
Oh my God.
people paying to be in and then having access for free in the open areas. It would have been a nightmare.
The best way that I can describe it so that maybe you would have an idea. Think, okay, New York City Comic Con, when you came with me to New York City Comic Con, think all those people in one spot.
Yeah, no,
In the gazebo area.
In the gazebo area, like every single person.
Yeah, I've been to other events where it got that bad. So.
Yeah, but the difference is with MAG, that constant pressure of people doesn't stop.
Oh no, I know.
At least with New York City Comic Con and Anime NYC, there's a end time. Like, hey, 5 o'clock, get the fuck out. 7 o'clock, get the fuck out. With MAG, it's okay. We started at 10 a.m. on Thursday. We don't stop until 2 p.m. on Sunday. Have at thee, motherfuckers. Like, may the gods ever be in your favor.
Yeah.
Holy malort.
Yeah. So it was a very interesting first MAGFest for me. I even got to check out some of the other stuff, like the indie games there. It was pretty... I think, honestly... because of my own personal taste when it comes to games, there was probably maybe one, but the other games were fun. It's just aesthetic wise for me. I like this one particular game.
The dungeon game?
The tower
The
defense.
tower defense. Yeah, that was pretty fun.
That was actually pretty fun. Because there's like a lot of prepping that you can do and stuff like that, where it's just like you try to defend the sort of portal in the center and stuff.
It was very well done. The graphics were really good too.
I like it. It doesn't have to be like super realistic, like hyper high res, graphics or whatever. Like the art style, I loved it. It was very appealing. So that to me was I believe it was
you took down the information for that.
Yeah, I did. I actually funny enough, I still have it here on my phone. Give me one.
Yeah. No, it's cool because like that's the other thing that I love so much about MAGFest is that like Crypt Crawler.
Yeah.
I love that about MAG though, is that like not only do we get the ability to play all of the game systems that have ever been created, dating all the way back from like Atari to the PS5 and, the Xbox Elite and all that other stuff that they will have set up on the console side of the convention. We also get pinball machines. We get claw machines. We get cabinet games. We get the interactive games like we were playing Dance Dance Revolution. We were playing the Taiko game, which was a lot of fun. And these are all things that you don't get to really see anymore because arcades, unfortunately, have become kind of like a thing of the past. Like they're just not.
You know what it is? I think it was because of COVID.
No, it's definitely because of COVID.
It's definitely because
Yeah.
and I see this is definitely because of the epidemic, because even the giant arcade that they had over in Japan, I keep forgetting the exact location, but it was a very, very popular arcade. They ended up closing it down
Yeah.
because of that.
I know.
Mhm.
They closed down, like, the only place that you could even play arcades nowadays here in New York City were like Dave and Buster's. And most of those locations kind of just went. They're
At
still
l-
there, but they're
at
not
least-
great.
Yeah, at least I mean I
But the
can't.
mom and pop arcades are gone.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
there is a few that I know of, but again, that's all in Jersey.
Yeah, but,
But-
tri-state area.
Yeah, in terms of the tri-state, I mean, there's only a few arcade places that I know of that are reputable.
Mm.
You know,
I mean, we do have a few here in the city. There's Barcade, which is really cool because it's a bar that has all the cabinet games that you can play.
yeah,
But it's a bar.
but not even just that.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna give my opinion on barcades a little bit, and this is just like from the multiple barcades that I've been to. Like I've been to the one in Newark, I've been to the one in Jersey City, you know, and this is all in New Jersey, so just keep that in mind. There's also, man, what was another one that I've been to? There was at least like 4 that I've been to.
Yeah.
And at least doing my comparisons to the barcades, for one thing, it's not as large as a regular arcade.
No,
Because obviously
it's
you
not
have
going to be. It's a
yeah,
bar.
It's a bar. And 2, the options for games are kind of
Limited.
limited, yeah, because it's just like they have some of like the good classics, but there's like some of the other ones where it's just like, you know, you don't even have like some of the. And first off, for me, this is just a classic that I feel like for as an arcade game, you kind of need to have it. It's like Galaga, that game. Like, come on, man. Like, I've only seen maybe one barcade have it. And I'm just like, dude, this game's like a classic. Like, you
Well,
can't
yeah, but that does.
have it.
It's hard to find those cabinets.
But you know what's funny?
What?
Got emulators.
Yes, an
They can-
emulator, but
they
that's
can,
still.
They can listen.
Yeah, but you still lose out on the arcade feel if you have
Yeah,
just an
Yeah,
emulator.
no.
We're gonna
No,
have
no.
a talk about that.
No.
Emulator versus arcade.
Because the controls, all you have to do is plug it into the system. So it's more just like you just need something to hook it up onto the screen. That's it.
Pull the lever, crunk.
But yeah. But no, but I guess in terms of all that, you know, I like the one thing I did like about Mag though in their arcade was the you had a lot of the classic stuff, but then you also had a lot of like the more intricate stuff.
The newer stuff, yeah.
One of the things that stood out to me the most while we were there was the Gundam cockpit.
You said cock.
Well, yeah. But it literally puts you inside the cockpit of a Gundam, which I thought was
Yeah.
very interesting. I don't know to what extent the game is because in
That
terms
one
of,
was new because it was not in the
I've
not in the
never
arcade last year.
I've never seen it before, so I would presume. I'm not saying like if I haven't seen this, not it has to be new. Like no, I would have heard something about it. And
I
that had to
think that
happen.
only just came to the States this year or
Yeah.
within like
yeah, I
last.
feel like that was.
Yeah,
So
I feel like that was a newer one.
it definitely
Yeah.
was because I can guarantee you that was not in the arcade last year.
yeah, I don't know if it's hooked up in a way where you have actual teammates or if they're NPCs. Again, it's kind of hard to really tell, mainly just because if I'm having trouble with controls, I'm assuming other people are having trouble with controls.
I mean,
and it looks like we're all NPCs trying to play the fucking game.
maybe.
So, but one thing I will say is it was a very interesting way to play a Gundam game because you're essentially like using joysticks.
Yeah.
And, like kind of like almost like in an actual like I wouldn't say helicopter because mostly in like helicopters you only have one joystick, but you have 2. Like one's for like firing, one's for meleeing with attacks.
Either way, you got to be ambidextrous to play this game.
Yes and no.
Mhm.
You can get used to it. It's just the one thing that kept tripping me up a lot on it which is not it's not really a critique or it's like it's a bad thing. Like no, it's just something you need to get used to.
Okay.
Is the movement, the actual movement, not attacking or the attacking controls are easy. It's just a press of a button. But in terms of how you're moving, like how you turn and this, like you need to adjust the joysticks in like different directions.
Okay.
So it's not like a simple like, oh, you move both joysticks to the left or both to the right and then you move left or right. Like you do, but when it comes to turning, like you kind of need to like shift it in different ways.
As if you were actually flying a Gundam.
Yeah. In a way, yeah, which is like I'm just like what the hell? Like I had such a hard time turning
Oh my god.
that I just end up just whenever
were you just
enemy...
spinning in a circle?
No.
It's called a hustle.
No,
sweetheart.
actually I wasn't able to turn a lot of the times because I was trying to figure it out while I'm also trying to kill the other
That's
team.
funny.
So I'm over here like backing up constantly and then firing at the enemy while I'm doing so. Because once they're in your line of sight, it kind of auto locks, which is great. I'm just like, thank God. Because if I had to be aiming while moving like that, it's gonna be impossible.
Right.
It would be damn near impossible. But
so that was a
fun.
good game for you.
Fun, yeah, it was very fun. I loved it.
Yeah, I loved playing the drum game with you guys.
Yeah, no, that was a very fun game too.
That was Turnip's suggestion.
What was the Turnip? What was the name of the game again? I remember seeing that game so many.
Taiko no Taitsujin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that game
That's
a
a tongue
lot.
twister.
I just never bothered, really, because I guess again I'm not crazy about rhythm games, but I have played them. You know, I've even played the other one. Turnip, you probably might know which one it is. It's the one with the characters. Like, you ever seen that rhythm game, the one with the wrestler on it?
Yeah, and it's like wubba dubba dub. Is that
Yes,
true?
yes,
Hey, that one.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
Yeah, that one is.
Are you talking about Parappa the Rapper?
No.
Okay.
Different one.
No, it's not WarioWare. They're making a new one for the Switch too. That's just gonna come out. I
Yeah.
forget what the name of it is, but I know what you're talking about. I love a good rhythm game.
Me too.
When I was a kid, that was like one of the easiest games to buy at the time for like the DS was the rhythm games.
Yes.
And there was an era where like it was in the Tomodachi Life era where rhythm games were like the game to make and come out with. And I had almost all of the rhythm games. I'm trying to remember what that one is called. It'll come to me probably an hour after we finish this. But
Most likely.
yeah, I really like Taiko no Taitsujin. I always thought that one was fun. I played it originally on the Switch and then ended up being like, you know what? I like it on the Switch, but I feel like I would like it if it was like a full game. And my friend Reagan was like, it is a full game. Have you never played the arcade version? And I actually missed for the past 4 cons, I missed going to play that game because normally if there's only, 2 there, the line is like 20 people long on each machine, all hours of the con.
Of course.
So to be able to go when we went,
There was
which
like 6 of them.
super late.
6 or 8
It was
machines.
like 6 of them, 6 or 8 machines, which was phenomenal. And then the fact that we went what, right after the Malort meetup.
Malort. Oh,
We went to go
Malort.
play,
Yeah.
And that was at midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went at midnight to go play, and that was insane to be able to go
We didn't have
play
to wait
that
very
late.
long.
And then, no, we didn't at all. And even getting the one that was only in Japanese.
Yeah, because
we
the
still
English
got the
the
fucking
English one had a longer line.
Yeah, which makes sense, but
Which,
it was
honestly, I don't
definitely
think
a lot of fun.
Yeah, but honestly, if we gotta keep it real, I don't think it would really matter if we chose one or the other. We couldn't hear shit.
No, we
anyway.
couldn't. It was so fucking
yeah, no.
loud.
Yeah, we couldn't hear shit because between people talking and then all the other arcade cabinets making noises, it's just like, yeah, no.
Yeah, and we were
good luck trying to enjoy
no.
the music.
I mean, it was cool though. I had a
Oh,
good
of
time.
course.
I mean, I managed to keep the rhythm up a little.
You know what's funny? I also, because of like us doing so many different things, and this is just my experience, by the way. So just because of us doing so many things, and then obviously me having to work and stuff, I didn't get to really check the full arcade. Like the arcade room is huge,
Yeah.
but just thought about it too. Like, and I was just like, they even have a House of the Dead
They did.
arcade? Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I actually really do like House of the Dead games. I actually have the one for the Switch.
No, they actually do have games like that, but they changed the layout of the way the arcade was set up this year, which I actually prefer. Because last year, they had the arcade set up in such a way where it was like every single thing, like pinball machines, claw machines, all were shoved up in one corner. All the other cabinets were kind of just like on top of each other, and then like the bigger games like DDR, Tyco, and all that stuff were shoved towards the back.
Yeah.
And then it was also the way they had it set up last year too was the indie games were also integrated throughout the arcade. They did not do that
would've
this
been
year.
miserable.
They put the indie games in a separate section.
Yes,
which was good.
It was good
Which was
because
nice.
also it was a lot bigger this year.
Yeah,
The
they
indie
had a lot.
game area was
if
bigger.
If you're trying to be an indie developer explaining your game,
It's kind of
that's
hard to
miserable
do that.
to try to
Yeah.
Oh
explain
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It was a lot. I will say this: it was a lot easier
That's
to
rough, buddy.
hear the guy explaining the game a little bit while I was there, playing the Crypt Crawler, which was like it was awesome.
Yeah.
Because you can hear them, you can
yeah.
have like a one-on-one.
Yeah.
I can ask questions if I wanted to.
They didn't get super overwhelmed.
Yeah, like in terms of like a lot of like
I'm gonna say like in terms of spacing, it was very different this year for me, and I think better. Because they made the console room, it was still on the same side, so on the very left side of where everything was, they still had the console room, which honestly, I didn't even go in at all this year, which is shocking because usually I do go in and I do play a little bit here and there in the console
consoles.
room. I didn't get a chance to go in there at all like this year, which is great, and also at the same time, damn, but I have all these consoles, so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
But they gave it a little bit more space, which was nice. They gave the vendor room, which a lot more space, and then they gave indie games their own space, and then they had even more space for the arcade itself, where last year they did not have those 4 separate areas. They only had 3 separate areas. The vendor room was very small last year. I feel like they were able to add more vendors this year, which is very nice. So hopefully the Feinics Gate gets in next year as a vendor. Fingers crossed. And then the arcade was definitely a lot more spaced out. Everybody wasn't on top of each other this year, which was very fucking nice.
yeah.
I will say too, something that I noticed that like I had the utmost respect for is like so often when you go into a con of any sort, you can kind of tell what their priority is.
Yeah.
And I really felt like it was so nice to see that they truly do have a priority of the gaming.
Yeah.
Because not only were the games spaced out, it was, and this is for those of you who have been at like big cons, this is what's baffling, is it was what I would say most cons would have that space as their opening ceremony room, right? Like that would be a rave room, right? And being in those rooms, it's dank, it's funky, and it's hot.
Yeah.
That room was cold. It was chilly.
Yeah.
Now it wasn't like insanely
it
like
wasn't
freezing,
like freezing,
but
no.
you could
breathe.
tell that they were accurately taking care of the machines.
Oh
By
yeah.
making sure that the room was cool so that those machines being played back to back to back to back to back to back to back were not being overheated. And that was really nice to see because a lot of times when you go to conventions, they'll have an arcade room, they'll have a vendor hall, but a lot of these things you can tell which one is the first, like the one that's making them money and then the one that's the afterthought.
And the thing
And
is
it really felt like
we didn't pay to play these games. That's the other wonderful
No.
part.
yeah, no.
They each, at least from what I saw when it came to the Gundam game, they have which I thought was a very interesting thing, which I think it has something to do with some sort of key card functionality with it.
Maybe.
I don't know if the other arcade cabinets had this, but this Gundam game did. The cockpit one did.
Okay.
And it was interesting because I was just like, where do I push the button to start? Like I was like so confused. Like I'm pressing like the buttons on the joysticks and stuff, nothing's starting.
So what they did this year, which was another thing that they didn't do last year, is your badge was how you played the games.
That's not how they did with the Gundam game.
No, but it could if you had scanned it. That's why they told you not to, that little barcode that was on the back of your badge. That's why they told you not to cover it with anything, like a badge ribbon or anything like that. That was why.
But that's not
I
how
didn't
this
know that.
one worked.
Well, I'm just letting you know that.
Oh yeah, no, I understand. But I'm saying for this one was a very interesting one because it was I think it wasn't like a barcode scanner. It was more of like some sort of, because the piece itself was like an acrylic piece and had something in it.
Like a key card.
A key card, but it wasn't like a barcode scanner.
Well, maybe if they did borrow it from an actual arcade.
I think
or
they borrowed
Depending
it.
on that game.
I will say this, it was not translated.
Oh,
It was a
maybe-
full-on Japanese. Like I didn't even know. I was just like, all right. I didn't even know what settings to pick.
You know, there's a possible chance that people in Japan probably like have these special cards that have their own personal Gundams and their settings, and they log it in.
I
and
don't
that's how-
think it is. I think it's to have it so you don't have to pay. Well, I think that's because that's usually how it is, because I didn't see any key slots. I didn't see nothing. Like no like
That's how you pay to
coin
play?
slots. I think where it comes from is one of those arcades where you pay with a card and you scan it or you tap it.
Or you tap your phone.
I don't,
Because I know in Japan everybody uses their phone, like the NFT thing.
Yeah, but I don't know. I highly doubt it for this one. This one might have like some sort of card that you might.
Who knows?
But yeah. But yeah, no, I know for a fact they did pull it from a Japanese
We jumped
arcade,
out a
'cause
window.
everything Japanese. I could not tell what the fuck I was doing. All I know is what Gundams I was picking. That's it.
Yeah. Well, besides those two games that, you know, Turnip's recommendation, your recommendation, my crazy ass decided I was going to go do DDR. Now, keep in mind, fans, I had just had 2 surgeries at this point. I'm still recovering from 2 fucking surgeries, and my crazy ass says, I can still do DDR like I'm a teenager, no problem. No, I fucking can't. I should not have fucking done that, and I did it anyway. And this is right after this guy that literally, I'm standing there, I'm like, oh my God, he literally, his feet flew.
No, you know,
DDR
listen,
master.
No, you know someone has played or has invested
Or has their own cabinet
life.
at home.
No, hold on. Invested their life into DDR when they're using the actual bar behind the
I
fucking...
used that bar.
Yes.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Not during DDR when you were playing.
At first, I used that bar, but then it was hurting my back, so I stopped.
You used it for 2 seconds.
I needed to be steady. Fuck you.
Right.
Don't judge me.
All the judging.
Oh, senor. That's it. That's it.
But no, yeah, no, I could tell that dude has invested, like, I wouldn't even say hours. I say days.
Years.
To years to months or whatever of his life to DDR.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell. You
Jesus.
can just tell. He plays I can bet you he plays no other games besides DDR.
I mean, he might.
yeah. I mean, he looks like one of those
Well, and
people
what-
that just do recordings for DDR.
Maybe.
Like, I wouldn't be
But
surprised.
what I loved was that, you know, he did the recording, he goes ham, blows everybody out of the water to the point that, like, it's almost embarrassing
I was so mad.
for us to go,
Follow up after
you
that.
know.
Emotional
after that.
damage.
Yeah.
And yet, when we went to start playing, he was super nice.
And
And he
encouraging.
was super, like, he was like, oh my gosh, he was like, in a way, like, cheering us on.
Yeah.
And that was really nice because, like, I'm used to cons being like this is gonna be how do I word this nicely? I don't think there is a nice way to
Assholes.
word
No,
it.
just say it bluntly.
If you are not well known, popular, you're cringe.
Yeah.
But if you're taking TikToks and having fun through the TikTok lens or through the Instagram lens, everybody thinks you're so cool. So it's like if you're playing DDR and having a blast, but you're not, you know, filming it and having a rapport with, you know, the hundreds of people there, people are looking at you like, ew, that's cringe. Why are those 2 old ladies playing DDR?
Not at Mag,
Whereas,
though.
at Mag, we're playing it and we're laughing, and people are just watching to watch.
And
And
cheering
they're
us on.
excited to play and cheering us on and like having a good time.
Yeah.
And it was so refreshing to have is like because a lot of times like I think a lot of the issues that I've had with, watching the cosplay community and like the cons and stuff kind of derail is like it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a bunch of weirdos in a room. We're all dressing up as anime characters. None of us are perfect,
Yeah.
And I think that I've gone to too many networking cons on accident, not realizing that's what they were.
Mm.
And it really kind of distorted what I thought a con was.
Yeah.
And then going to MAGFest, I was like, this is what I wanted. This is what I needed all along. Like, I didn't need,
No.
I wanted to go to this one. This is the one I like.
Yeah. And what I love the most about it is that, like, so I'm going to talk about another experience I had. Because all of us split off and did our own thing for a little while, and that was really cool. That's the other thing I love about this convention is that you can split off from your sit group, go off and do something else, and still meet back up and not be all like, well, what the fuck, you left me, blah, 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 kind of thing, I went off.
You feel safe to do that, which is a big plus.
Oh my God, yeah. So I went off for the first time in the fucking 4 years that I've gone, I never visited the CCG room. I never knew where it was. I never bothered to go because I did play card games back in the day, but I have not played any of my old games in a very long time. And then over the past year or so, I would say, I've been getting more interested in going back into it. And then in the past 3 months, would you say since Comic-Con?
I would say Comic-Con.
Since New York Comic-Con, I would say I've gotten back into Magic. Now, I've been playing Magic since Magic came around. I've been playing Magic since Magic Alpha. So I did not know about the new system. I didn't know how it works. I didn't know anything about the new decks. I didn't know nothing. And then on a whim, I saw that they were doing these things at the CCG room called drafts. And I was just like, you know what? That sounds like fun. I'm going to go try that. See what happens. Maybe I can get some nice cards and learn how to play Commander, which is how people are playing Magic nowadays. You can still play it traditional, but Commander is the way to go. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to go learn how to play because Turnip was like, yo, you learn how, you teach me how, and then we can play together. And I was like, fucking say less. So, I went to, it was the Final Fantasy draft. No, first I went to the mystery draft. Then I did a Final Fantasy draft. Now, also, here's the thing I didn't realize about these drafts. They are hours of your day. Do not plan to have anything else to do during these drafts. You will be in that room for minimum 2 to 3 hours, 4 maximum, because the way, if anybody who's ever been in a card draft goes, you got to go through all the decks, go through all the card packs and everything like that. And it takes a while. And then at the end, you're supposed to technically use the cards that you got to build a deck and try to play people. It's not a rule. It's kind of expected. I didn't know that with the first mystery draft because by the end of it, I was so just I need to go move my legs. I'm a little antsy. I needed to eat. I needed water. I left and I had to come back anyway for my Final Fantasy draft. And I was like, you know what? Let me fuck off for a little bit so I can get my food, because I'm really hungry. And I fucked off for a little bit to get a snack. Didn't know I was supposed to stay and play. So it's fine. Whatever. The people kind of taught me how to do the draft there. They were kind of nice. They were very, very welcoming and at least in that aspect. But it was at the Final Fantasy Commander draft that not only did I meet some really, really nice people, but also people that were willing to explain shit to me on what I should be looking out for, what I should be doing, how to actually maximize the abilities of cards that I have, how to set it up, all sorts of shit like that. And then they taught me how to play Commander. They taught me how to play the Commander, how to do it. They were so welcoming and they made me feel good because it wasn't that typical you're a girl and you know how to play cards kind of bullshit. It was they were nice. They were teaching me step by step, telling me tips, showing me, okay, this is what you got to do, and reminding me also how to play Magic because Commander's not that different from the original way.
Mhm.
Couple things, but still pretty much the same formula. So once I was reminded, it was very, very nice to be able to just be like, hiya! And we did that first, practice game after we finished the draft. And I almost won. I actually fucking went. I came in second place because of that. So it was really, really cool, really nice. Did it take up fucking 3-4 hours of my day? Yes, it fucking did. But I got some really nice cards out of it, so I'm not mad about it. It also, that room, a little stinky, but not to the point where it was like, huh. And there were some people in there that I wanted to punch in the face. But other than that, it was actually a very pleasurable experience.
Probably would have won if you used that Gilgamesh I got you.
Yeah.
And I will say too, with MAGFest though, is like with any other con, if you miss 3 to 4 hours on Thursday, Friday, you're missing all of the con.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But at MAGFest, you are able to do like, we didn't get to do it, and I'll force people to do it Thursday when they open day 0, see if they'll, or day 1, see if they'll do it. But like playing Twilight Imperium, right?
If they have the game.
Like, if they have the game, it's like a game you have to play like 8 hours worth.
Yeah.
It's an 8-hour long game. But like here, you could play, like try to go as quickly as possible, play a good, 4 hours and not feel like you just wasted your day,
Exactly.
which is like super nice. And I think that's perfect for a con of that, makeup, because it really is set up to be a convention that you can enjoy the video games to their fullest, which is really, really nice.
And they didn't just have video games either. They had tabletop games. They had the card games. They had the museum set up so that you could see even more like the retro stuff, which we didn't get to see because, we were running around like ducks without a head. They had a VR station for people that if they ever wanted to get into doing VR. They had other places at other smaller cons and some bigger cons advertising. They had guests. I mean, Rebecca Sugar was there the entire weekend. And for those of you who don't know who Rebecca Sugar is, she is the creator of Steven Universe and all that. I think she also did. She did Fiona and Cake. Is that her?
I'm not sure.
I know she did Steven Universe.
She did some music, if I can remember correctly, in Adventure Time.
Yes, thank you. Okay,
she's the one that sings the "Time is an Illusion."
Yes. So I'm not crazy.
Help things make sense. Yes.
Yeah. So that is in her. That is in the Rebecca Sugar universe. But she was there all weekend. We had some famous voice actors that were there. We had some video game people that were there. Industry people. There were so many panels, so many workshops. I want to get to the complaints though, because the workshops is where I kind of have a complaint.
I do too.
So my only complaint about these is the signups that they didn't really advertise that you needed to sign up for. Some of them you needed to sign up for 2 hours ahead of time, or even the day before. So that was my one complaint, because that's how actually I found out about the CCG stuff. Is I wanted to go. I saw that they were doing it, and I walked up, and I was like, "Oh, I want to do this." They go, "Oh yeah, well you needed to sign up for that 2 hours ago," and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
So that I like the system. Wish it was a little bit more advertised, but now that I know, I'm not going to make that same mistake again.
Yeah, and I think too. I feel like that was implemented this year too, because a lot of people had that same like gripe. And it was a lot. It wasn't like a gripe in like
last year. You could just walk in. Last year you could just walk in.
It was more of a like, I didn't know this. It would have been nice to know, but now that I know, I'll be better about it. I think that MAGFest is really shifting to. I think MAGFest is going to keep this closed.
Oh yeah, it's not coming.
It's better to do it that way.
They've already stated this will stay closed profile.
And I think that that's a good thing, because I think at the end of the day, it's going to make it so much easier. I do think, like, for example, I also had that happen where I really wanted to go to the Pokemon Cross Stitch. And I ended up going, and they were like, oh, well, the sign up was,
5 a.m.
at 5:30 in the morning. And I was like, oh shit, I was definitely not awake at 5 a.m. to be there for the sign up. And that was one of those where it was like, there's not much I could do about it. I sat in the waitlisting line. we all didn't get in. But from what was kind of murmured around, I will say, even in that situation where I did miss out on going to the cross stitch, getting up to go to it, I got to experience the entirety of the morning orchestra. Which I will say, if you guys have never been to MAGFest, MAGFest has a Saturday morning orchestra
It's the big
of
event. One of the big events.
it's
I was there.
huge and it's gorgeous.
I
It
was
is
there, I think maybe
literally-
towards the end
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, I think you had gone out for the blacksmithing, and it
Yes.
was phenomenal. It was, and it's not like a bunch of weebs that are like, I rented this trombone, I guess I know how to use it. No, these are like,
I mean, they're probably still weebs.
Oh no, they are.
they're still weebs, but they fully were. It was
Experienced in the
phenomenal.
instruments.
These
Yes.
are so what I know about the Mag Orchestra, from what I know, is that these are all artists that have come together to do just that from all over the country. They're not some
it
of
was
them
phenomenal.
that like and they don't play together in an orchestra normally. They only for this, I believe, is what they do. And they do, I think they also travel to the other MAGFest stuff that they have. I think like MAGWest and stuff like that, if they do have that thing. But this is like basically this is what they do. This is like this is their side gig where they're
It's like
they're developers and working in power plants or tattoo artists or stuff like that. They do that orchestra just for fun.
You know, it's funny. I had a professor too that did that.
I believe
she was
it.
an audio professor, and she did orchestra. She was the
Conductor.
Conductor. Thank you. She was the conductor for the orchestra.
Wow.
And they would always do video game songs. all
That's
the
so
time.
cool.
I think they did Legend of Zelda. They did Shadow of the Colossus. They did like a whole bunch of other games. Like they would do performance.
That's amazing. But that orchestra, I'm so glad that you guys got to experience that, not just through Mag TV, that you guys got to hear it all throughout the atrium. Ugh, it
was gorgeous. And like even missing the event that I really wanted to go to, I still got to go hear this phenomenal, orchestra that you would have paid out the ass to go experience this.
Without a doubt.
And it was so well done. And I really that was the thing with MAGFest is like if you lost one thing, you wouldn't just like lose out on that. You were able to go do so much more. And I know for a lot of other cons that I've been to, the highlights are like cosplay competition and the vendor hall. And that's like the big highlights. There's nothing much else to do.
And there was a
But
cosplay
MAGFest
competition.
we just did not go anywhere near it.
Nope. There was a cosplay competition. Like, and that's the other thing. Like, yes, did we miss out on going to the concerts? Yeah, we did. Did we miss out on going up to Pose? Yeah, we did. Did we miss out on some of the workshops that we wanted to go to? Yeah, we did. But we still got to do tons of other shit. Like,
oh yeah.
There was a rave that was going on that, like, by the end of the night, I was just like, I'm too tired. I don't want to do this. I'm old. I want to go back to the room and go to sleep. And this is at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. But people are still partying like crazy.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not mad about it.
But
And
then again, at the same time, those are the same people that also wake up late. And then they're just like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
So their fucking sleep schedule's already fucked as it is.
Oh, people sleep at MAGFest? Since when?
Listen, eventually they do.
Eventually.
Eventually they do.
But, like, honestly, in previous years, and if anybody wants to go back and listen to previous MAGFest episodes that I have put out, because I have, go back and listen to those episodes on the Feinics Gate on all listening platforms, plug. But this year, I have the least amount of cons than I've ever had in the 4 years that I've gone. First year, nothing but fucking complaints, honestly, because like there was a lot of drama that happened that year. Second year, there was a lot of fucking drama that happened that year too. And there were a lot of cons. Last year, there was fucking drama, but less cons, but it was still very much in a lot of ways because it was still open and there was just personal bullshit. This year, there was absolutely no fucking drama at all. At all. And I was expecting it too, because there were people that go there that I don't like and that don't like me. But there was none. Absolutely none. So no complaints there. The only complaint I have about some things is people were a little bit rude in certain areas. Like in the vendor space, they just did not want to fucking move. And as always, some people just didn't shower.
Yeah.
But we, Turnip and I are part of one of the groups on Facebook. And we publicly shamed people in that fucking group. If you showed up stinky.
Yeah.
We called you out. So I will say, compared to previous years and previous cons, it was one of the most non-stinky conventions I've ever been to, which was very, very nice. Very, very nice. I'm not gonna lie.
I think for next mag, I'm probably just gonna be like Dove and start buying a whole bunch of those little fucking
the little aerosol cans and just hand them
the little
out.
small ones, and then here you go, dude.
There were people dressed up in bunny suits one of the nights, blowing bubbles, and handing out little tiny travel-sized Dove bars of soap, and it was very comical. I did enjoy that. That made me laugh. I will say too, there was a lot of even the drinking partying culture was so different. Like I know I didn't have situations like this that happened to me, but like seeing on, the missed connections of MAGFest, which is one of my favorite Facebooks to be a part of. There were a bunch of people that talked about how there was someone that was like, my friends all went to bed and I really wanted to party. And so I got up the nerve to go down to a room that had music playing. And I knocked and I said, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I know you don't know me, but like, I really would love to party with you guys. Like, my friends all went to sleep." And these people in this room adopted this person and they went to pose, they hung out, they all, got to know each other. And at other conventions, that is like unheard of.
You would never get
And
that.
like,
They'd be like, ew.
yeah. And the amount of times too that I had a lovely couple that I met that we were talking about video games, and they were like, do you have any friends down here now? Like, if you don't have any friends on the gazebo floor, like, we wanted to go take a walk, you could come with us. And I was like, that is very sweet of you. I do have friends. They are coming down. Like, you're not going to abandon me. Like, you don't need to feel like you're abandoning me in this, in this building by myself. But they were super kind to be like, you can come with us. Do you want to walk with us? Do you want to, come hang out? We're going to go down to the atrium, like, and all this stuff. And that was very, very sweet. Normally that doesn't happen.
No.
That's very much like it's a, we're going to go. And that's keywords for, I don't want to hang out with you anymore. You're creeping me out. I don't know you. Let's leave. Right. But there was like a feeling at MAG. There was a feeling at MAG that was like, no, like, we don't have to hang out the whole time because I'm going to see you again, because we'll find each other again, because there's going to be another moment to do that. And it was really, really cool. I will say too, the photographers, at MAGFest, I had so many more positive interactions with photographers at MAGFest. I do find at other conventions, I have not had, I will say this is because I am on the smaller side weight-wise, and I say this bluntly, that leads me to not have nasty interactions with photographers. When you're feminine and you are close to the, what is considered conventionally attractive, they're not nasty to you. Whereas, we've had friends in our life that have had horrible interactions with photographers. Because
I've had horrible interactions.
Exactly. They don't, because
when I was bigger.
In the photographer's mind, in the photographer's mind, this isn't the exact person that we're looking for. And so because of that, they have this whole nasty mentality.
It's true.
And
when I was a lot bigger, I had those problems with these photographers, so they would never want to take my photo, but they would always want to take somebody who's with me photo.
Yep. Or they wanted you to just get out of the way.
Yep.
And that was a big thing too that I had at like Katsu, is I would have situations where I would be there with friends and we'd be standing there and they would take photos of every other single person. And then I would have, they wouldn't know me, right? And they wouldn't necessarily know my costume. And so they would just like look at me and scurry away, right? And I do think that that's something that's just, I understand there's a whole conversation about cosplay photography that is, currently being had and will continually be had for the rest of time. But I know that there's a lot of like at MAGFest, I had people come up to me that were like, "Hey, listen, I'm probably not going to do anything with these photos because I just take photos for fun. I am a photographer, but like I'm walking around with my camera. I'd love to take a photo of your costume because I don't know who this is. I'm not going to lie to you and act like I know who this character is, but I love your wig or I love the
Yeah.
dress."
So
And
many
it was
people
like
were like
super
so
nice.
nice about that. Like, oh, I don't really know who you are, but let me take your picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then there was like, and then there was also you didn't have like at Katsu. I know I explained this to News while we were there. Is they didn't have like the wall of photogs on Saturday where you couldn't get anywhere because it was all up against that wall of the gazebo where
Mm.
you had people just bopping down the line, going from photographer to photographer to photographer, and it congests and you can't get past it. And
Mhm.
if you don't have a certain number of followings or if you haven't posted that full costume being built,
Ugh.
you don't get anything. That people won't talk to you, won't take your photo. And I think with MAGFest, there was so many more. Even just looking at the photos from photo dumps of popular photographers that went to this,
Mhm.
it was so diverse and it was so filled with like niche, lovable content and characters that like you can tell this is a con for people who enjoy the content of video games.
I wish I had more money. I would have booked us some photo shoots to when we were Lamb and
Oh,
Goat.
I know.
I totally would have done that.
We will
I'll
we will do that next year
cosplay.
because
I'll cosplay Mr. Clean
Mr. Clean.
here.
Oh my god, that would be such a good cosplay for you. Or the Brawny Man.
that would be funny.
The
We'll have
Brawny
to come up
Man?
with
The
something.
brawny.
The
Oh
Brawny
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, just be the Brawny Man. Just
No,
walk around with a paper towels.
No. I'd say Mr. Clean and just hand out soap bars. Here you go.
Oh my god, please do it.
That would be hilarious.
Please do it.
But I think like it's a more open, accepting feeling that even like I've gone to like ASEN, which is Anime Central up in Chicago. And even that one, there is a feeling of like, I think there is a time and a place for a bring your best convention, right? I think there is a reason that Katsu exists as well as these other big conventions is because it is a culmination of the best pieces that people put together to come to this event,
Well,
right?
yeah.
And I think that's why I loved Katsu. Like in my mind, when I went the first time, why I loved it was because it was awe-inspiring. But I think that the people who have gone, and I know a lot of people who go to Katsu and they've all said the same thing, that the concept of creating pieces that are awe-inspiring has gone down so much from Katsu. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that it's just time for something else to fit into that slot.
Agreed.
And I think it's going to be MAGFest. And I think that's going to cause some issues with like, are we going to be able to
Sustain.
sustain, are we going to be able to, get everybody to be able to go to this con at the same time kind of a thing.
It's going to
But I feel
become a
like
problem. I see that.
it's going to become a problem, but I think it'll fluctuate and change with time.
Maybe.
I'm excited to see how Katsu goes. I mean, not Katsu. How MAGFest goes next year.
We're
I'm really
definitely gonna
excited to see.
we're definitely gonna go. Like, there is no ifs, ands, or buts. The group that we went with was obviously just us three, but we are in, talks of our Lavenders most likely gonna try to come with us again next year since she couldn't this year.
Mhm.
Our friend Emmy would like to come with us to it. There are people that have expressed desires to come with us to this convention because they want to experience the joy and everything that we experience when we go. So
Yeah.
that in itself speaks because it is very rare that I meet someone that comes to MAGFest or goes to MAGFest with me or has been to MAGFest before that doesn't return.
Yeah.
So like the only person in my friend group in my group period that I can say would never return to MAG is DigiNan. Because he just did not have a good experience. He didn't really like it. It wasn't his thing, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's not for him. You know,
Yeah.
but for the most part, there were people there that I didn't know were there. And I find out like when I'm home healing from the surgery, they're like, oh yeah, I was at MAG. And I'm like, bitch.
You know what's funny? I just had that situation with a friend of mine, and she actually dressed up as a character from Sleep Token. So she had her whole Sleep Token, but it wasn't this.
It wasn't the Eevees of
it was-
Arcadia?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
It was a completely. She has like kind of her own. Actually, I wouldn't even say it's directly. I mean, I can't. I don't know all the characters and stuff for Sleep Token, but
You're not in that fandom?
no,
Not in that lore?
no. But her getup was Sleep Token inspired. I know that much at the very least. It has to be that.
Yeah.
But she posted up on Instagram all the photos and stuff, and I was looking. I was just like, wait a second, what the fuck? You were at MAG? And she's like, yeah. I was like, dude, I was there like the whole time.
Like the fuck?
I never saw you in your getup once.
It's true. Two of my closest friends, Rizuki and her husband, were there. My other friend, another cosplayer, she was there. I'm like, you assholes! And they're just like, you were there? I was like, yes, I was fucking there. You know I go to MAG every year. And they were just like, oh my God, you know what? And then one of my friends had the audacity to sit there and goes, you know what's funny? I go, what? They go, I thought I saw you. I could have sworn that it was you, and I wanted to call out your name, and I was afraid to, because if it wasn't you, I would have been embarrassed. I'm like,
I mean, felt,
but also at the same time, they're like, well, how come if you didn't see us? I'm like, I had eye surgery. I couldn't see shit. But you're very lucky, Turnip. You got to see a ton of your friends that you didn't get to see for a long time.
Oh my gosh, which was really nice. And that's like a big thing too, is that I don't go like, there's always this like regret after cons, like getting home, sitting down and going, damn, I really did not, it was not worth it. It was not worth the ticket price. You know, it really wasn't.
I've had that happen.
And here it really was like, no, but it is worth it, because I got to see my friends. I got to feel like I was enjoying a convention again. And it was like, I have no problem paying that price for being able, like, if I had pushed myself, and I think I know now, like, I definitely need to take a couple months of working out there to try to make sure that I can handle being alive for 3 days nonstop.
Being alive.
But even that kind of stuff, like, it really was a very well worth it con. I didn't feel like I was, wasting my money on things. It really truly felt like, no, this is worth it. This is exactly what I paid for. I have so much that I'm able to do and see and experience that, yeah, no. This is worth the whatever $100 it is. Because there's so many other cons that I've been to that it's like, the only reason why I enjoy this con is because I get to hang out and party with friends.
We paid.
So why am I paying that?
I think altogether, if we're not counting, obviously we're not going to count your plane fare and stuff like that.
just
but
strictly ticket.
Strictly ticket and hotel. Because we split the hotel and we each paid the ticket. So each ticket was $127
$127
for the 4 days.
Yes,
And then it was like $234 for the hotel
per person.
Yeah. So altogether, if you want to do some quick math here, 127 plus 234, so that's like about $450.
So that's like $100 per day. But if you can also consider too, maybe people who are semi-local, they can even not have to pay for the
Right, because they're not staying at the hotel.
They're not staying at the hotel. So, but for those who are coming from a ways away and obviously don't want to have to travel like 4, 6, or even more, even by plane or whatever, right? That's something to take into consideration.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And I will say, like, I paid the same amount almost with like plane tickets and, the ticket for the con and the hotel. I paid pretty much the same as I would for Katsu.
Yeah.
And yet I didn't feel like it was a waste. It felt as if,
No,
no, this is
yeah,
worth it.
yeah, it was definitely. I mean, if we're kind of doing it to like, I'm doing like a comparison for like say Comic Con, like NYC Comic Con, right? I
Mhm.
think for like a day pass, because I only did Saturday, Sunday, because obviously Thursday, Friday I had to work because I was just there was just no option for me. Um, I think for just a day pass, even it was like what, like $90 for a day pass. And I think sometimes it also depends on if you're doing a day pass, what day it is too. Obviously, if it's like the weekend or the
Yeah.
weekdays, it's a little bit cheaper. But obviously Saturday, Sundays is gonna be like the more expensive days. I don't remember exactly how much is the all weekend pass. I want to say it's close to around like I want to say maybe 200. That probably would sound about right around the $200 range. So I mean, if we think about like 127 compared to 200, and I'm just gonna say it too how it is, you know, in this instance, Comic Con is more of just like a vendor thing rather than
Yeah.
having activities really to really do. So I mean, for me, you know, I think I prefer MagFest over Comic Con mainly for the activities.
Yeah.
Strictly because of activities. Like you get more essentially there's more bang for your buck, like when it comes to that.
Yes. I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So, when it comes to that, I mean, no. Again, it really just all depends for some people. I mean, obviously Comic Con, if we're doing other comparisons too, you have more, actors, voice actors there, right?
Yeah.
They'll be there for signings and stuff and all that. So you get that experience more out of than you would do with MagFest. MagFest did have some people here and there, but it wasn't really anything like, I gotta be there, like, to get their signature. Like I didn't hear all too much of people, talking about going to get other people's signatures. So
Yeah.
it was that's like my comparison if I were kind of doing like a comparison between that and Comic-Con and like I guess like pricing and stuff. So I guess, depending on, when it comes to a con, I guess it really comes down to what is more to where I'm trying to look for. What's more like what's more what does the person gravitate more towards, like in terms of like, what they're spending versus like what they get. Like is are people liking more activities, or they're just liking to see maybe just, all the various different vendors and stuff, and voice actors and such. So, I guess it kind of depends at the end of the day when it comes to that. For me, I kind of like
Hmm.
activities. That's just like how it is for me. If like, it's cool. Yeah, I get to browse around and stuff like that. If it's like something like Comic Con, but it's just like, 4 whole days of that is just like it kind of. For me, I think 2 days of Comic Con is enough, unless I'm doing like cosplaying. If I'm doing cosplaying, then
Hmm.
maybe it's a little bit different, right? It's a little bit of a different story when it comes to that. Also depending if there's like different voice actors that only going to show up on the weekend, and then other ones that only going to show up Thursday, Friday. That's also a different story. But for that, you know, I think it kind of lands for me. Like I prefer MagFest over Comic Con mainly for the activities.
I'll have to agree
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
I'll have to definitely agree with you on that one. MagFest for me compared to other conventions, like so Anime NYC badges just went on sale yesterday. Now the 4-day badge, it believe this year it was like 175, something like that.
For which one?
4-day badge
Of
for
anime?
for Anime NYC.
Okay.
Because yeah. So 2 badges along with 2 lanyards and the 9-year pin cost $475 and change
For anime?
for Anime NYC. Now this is again another 4-day con, but it's not 24 hours. So,
Yeah.
I kind of feel that like for that amount of money, and that's not accounting what you're going to spend while you're there.
Exactly.
Depending on who you're meeting, what you're buying, photo ops, autographs, stuff like that. Mag, it's more
Activity based.
if you want to pay kind of deal, not you have to pay.
Yeah, I mean, and stuff, and not only that too. There's just stuff that you can do that doesn't cost money.
Exactly.
Like the only thing that the only thing for me that would cost money there is either one, food, which if you bring your own stuff, it doesn't really matter.
Nope.
Or two, the merchants, the vendors.
Yeah, I think I spent the most money in the vendor room.
Yeah.
I spent the most
Yeah.
money in the vendor room because I was
Yeah.
buying cards, and those can get expensive.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
But like, I did buy a couple little things here and there that like I had to have, but it wasn't like the vendor room didn't have things where it's like, I must take you home with me kind of thing.
Yeah.
It didn't have that. And that's
Good thing it didn't.
because a bitch be broke. But honestly, like I would say if you were going on a scale of bang for buck, MAGFest honestly kind of tops most of the conventions that I go to right now.
I think for me,
Yeah.
out of all the ones I've gone to, it is the one that tops all of them. Mainly just because, like, again, 24 hours.
24
you
hours.
Don't get that out
You
of
don't
other
get
cons.
that. You don't get that.
And you pay more.
God damn!
And you pay more for the 4 days in those cons than you would at MAGFest.
I know.
How much was Comic-Con last
I don't
year?
want to talk about it.
How much was the 4-day?
I don't want to talk about it. The 4-day badge,
4-day badge.
$250.
Okay, so I was right. It was at least somewhere around the $200 range because I was just like, I don't remember.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
The
that's
New
why I'm
York
just
City
like,
Comic-Con badges for 4 days are ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
Even
why-
Yeah,
Anime
they are.
NYC's fucking badges are still fucking ridiculous. They
Yeah.
wanted like 4 and change for the Anime NYC Plus badges. They think it was like $425. Those are your VIP experiences. And I'm just like, what does VIP get you? Oh, it gets you into the place an hour early, and I think you get to the front of the line. And I'm just like,
So if we use
yeah. Yeah.
what?
Yeah. But Bleh. I mean, I'm vending at Anime NYC, and the only reason that we bought the 2 extra badges for the 4 days is just in case I have somebody that sits there and goes, I really didn't get a chance to get a badge, it's sold out. Or if I need it because I need somebody to come in and work the booth,
Yeah.
you
That's
know?
true. Mhm.
So, like, that's where we're at with that.
Yeah.
But it's always because being a vendor there, I get 3 badges.
Yeah.
Automatically. And then every other vendor badge that I gotta buy is like I think $110 more. So yeah. And plus I think there's a limit on how
Yeah.
many you can actually buy. And that's why like I always have the 2 extra badges because I have so many people that like come to Anime NYC and want to,
Yeah.
experience it that it just works out better that way.
Yeah.
With MAG, I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Which would be really nice if we can get in as a vendor next year, but that waiting list apparently is retardedly bad.
Yeah.
People said that they were
Yeah.
on it for 5 years. And the only reason they got in is because people after COVID didn't want to do the masking.
Yeah.
Then once you're out, even if you, and that's the other thing with MAG that I was warned by other vendors, because network, it may not be a networking con, but I still networked a little bit. We all did.
Yeah.
The vendor did say that like you have to go every year as a vendor, and if you miss even 1 year, you're out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not complaining, but also at the same time, vending 24 hours a day is kind of a little daunting to me.
Well, but that's the thing. If you notice too, you're not vending 24 hours a day. It's an option.
You have to vend
Yeah.
during certain hours.
Of course, I'm not saying that
Yeah.
you don't have to, but if you notice, majority of the vendors were pretty much just closed down for the night after 10 p.m.
Yeah, some at 8.
After
Yeah, or they would be closed. They'd be closed down for events.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. It's just like they're not getting enough foot traffic. There was a couple booths that did stay open, like some of the retro game ones.
Yeah,
like
they had that. So somebody like shipped out like every 8 hours.
Yeah. It was one of
mhm.
them, and then I think it was the one that was like closest to the door too, to entrance. They
Yeah.
until
Was it Forgotten Games?
Saturday. I think
Forgotten
so. Yeah,
Games?
Forgotten Games. They stopped doing it Saturday night.
Yeah, because it was just dead.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but they just obviously they still stay there till the next day too as well. To finish their vending hours, but when it came to like staying overnight, nah, the Saturday night, and which makes sense too, because it's just like, dude, if you guys got
Everybody's at the Proto Man concert or the rave.
no, not even that. It was just because like, you also have like checkouts the next day.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, they're not gonna be staying up super fucking late and then have to do checkout.
Yeah.
Like, and then they have to rush to nah, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah. So, final thoughts on MAGFest. Turnip, you go first.
I think overall, MAGFest is, I would say MAGFest is the perfect con to give you the small town community con feel, but with the grandeur of a like posh con, right? Like a New York City Comic Con feel.
Mm.
It's you've got the numbers, you've got the events, you've got the names for it to be this big miraculous con, but the community that is there is what I would attribute the closest to like the Ren Fair.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, that's a
Yeah.
And I
pretty
think
good analogy.
And I think a lot of people have shifted to the Ren fairs because that is not a place to be judged. There is no judgment at the Ren fair. If you want to dress up like a monk and run around with your turkey leg, so many other people are there doing the same thing. It's, you do what you want to do, you have a good time, people are respectful. There are going to be little issues with congestion, some people acting like they've never walked in a crowd before in their life. Prop malfunction, some people throwing tantrums. You're going to have that.
Of course.
But the overall vibe is the people who are working it are happy to be there. They're being taken care of. And MAGFest, we saw the staff was being taken care of because we were a hall down from the staff rooms, and they were being well fed, well taken care of from what we could see.
Mm-hmm.
And
they
you've
got
got
ample
staff
breaks.
Yeah.
Yes, the staff are excited to be there. They're being well taken care of. They know what's going on. They're informed. They're easy to find, easy to see. And for those of you guys out there, I want also just like pinpoint this one thing. If you take nothing away, the one thing I want to say about MAGFest that puts it as a superior con to me is at accessibility.
Oh my
They
God.
were renting out accessibility tools.
Yes.
So if you didn't have your cane, you didn't have a pop-up chair, you didn't have a wheelchair, they were renting these out for people to use for the weekend.
And you didn't even
Which
have to
I
pay a
have
cent either.
never.
Nope.
You did not have to pay anything. You just had to go up and say, "Hey, I might need a cane at some point."
Well, they
and
take
were,
down your information.
They do, but as long as you
Yes.
return it, like you're
Yeah.
not gonna supposed to keep it, obviously.
No.
But
No.
even just
So.
having that availability
That helped me so
shows
much.
such a
Mhm.
care for the people that are there.
It did.
Because they want you to have a good time.
Yes.
And they were kind. They were, even when we had to pick up our badges and the guy was like, "Ooh, we had a kerfuffle where we went to go pick up the badge and we were told by a staff member as we're walking, 'Oh, hey, by the way, they just opened up badges.' We go over there. This guy stops us and goes, 'Oh, sorry. I was told by the guy inside it's not opening until 30, not 8.'
Yeah.
And we went, 'Oh, okay.' And he goes, 'I'm sorry. What I'll have you do is I'm just going to have you wait in the line. I'm going to go ask him because he's the one running this. I'll see if they're ready.' He was super kind. He was not upset. He was not combative. And we sat in line and he was super kind about it. And then when we were ready, he goes, 'Hey, we're ready for you. Come on in.' And it was the quickest, nicest. Like they are very well put together. And I hope that MAG becomes a top tier con for people. And I hope more people go to it. Not because I want everybody to flood this con, but because I want them to expand. I want them to have more MAGFests run by whoever's running this. You can tell that they like what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I've been to many a con where that con person, the con chair, is doing it for nonprofit money, not for anything other then they're doing it for the money. They're not doing it for the fans.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
so I love it. I think pros outweighed the cons for the first time in my con career.
Yay!
Mighty need!
Love that for you. All
Explosion!
right. What about you?
For me, I mean, in terms of cons, definitely by far the best one I've went to. So, just overall,
That's
Great
true. I've been
experience.
dragging you to a bunch too.
great experience overall. Fun time, a lot of activities. If anybody's interested in a con, biggest bang for your buck, honestly.
Yeah. I agree. So yeah, I'm not gonna go into it because I've been screaming about the virtues of Mag for the last 4 years, and I will continue to be screaming about how much I love MagFest for the next fucking decade if I can. You know, I want people to experience Mag, but also the selfish parts of me is just like a lot of the people that were there this year were Katsu refugees. And I'm kind of just like, stay in Katsu. Go away. Because there were a couple of those people that were obviously only there for, the shine factor, I like to call it. The people, look at me factor. But some people were actually there, even though they had the look at me thing going on, and they were actually genuinely enjoying themselves. So I can't say shit. And so many of these Katsu refugees kept saying, oh, I'm never going back to Katsu. I'm never going back to Katsu. And in my head, I'm going, please go back to Katsu. Because you're just going to make it that much harder for me to be able to enjoy myself. And yes, is that selfish? Yes. And does it matter? No. Because in the end, this is my place. Fuck off. But I do want other people to experience the joy that is MagFest. And as long as it doesn't prevent me from experiencing the joy that is MagFest. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But Mag, as always, just literally blew it out of the fucking water. I love the tone that it sets for my year. Because it really does set the tone for my year is MagFest every year. And this is been the best one so far. So I'm really looking forward to 2026 now. And that,
I feel that.
On that note,
I feel that 100%.
on that note, Turnip, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your experience with us. And
yeah, thanks for having me and helping me go to MagFest.
Girl, I got you. Kidding me? Kidding me? And
I loved it.
do you want to share your socials for anybody out there who's listening to give you a follow?
Yeah, so I am Lil Turnip Cause. I took a little bit of a hiatus. So I'm back now on my social media, so I will be posting more. I do cosplay convention. I do like cosplay competition work. I sew, I craft. I love to share the amount of love I put into every silly cosplay that I sew and craft. Lil Turnip Cause is spelled Lil Turnip Cause, kind of like a SoundCloud rapper. I am not the Little Turnip on SoundCloud. I wish I was. That would be amazing. But it's the same on Instagram and TikTok if you'd like to follow me.
I love it. I love it. And Crimson, did you just revamp your business's website? Like you did that?
I'm doing a bit of a rebrand a little on my business, for 3D printing. It's the Talon Touch. So yeah, I'm still working on a lot of stuff, but it's already been updated on, I want to say, Instagram right now. So that's been updated. I'm going to be updating the rest of the socials too as well, hopefully this weekend.
Yeah. You can actually find our Crimson's business whenever we go out as the Feinics Gate. The Talent Touch has been vending with us as well. We will be on February 7th at the Indie Art Show at the Great South Bay Brewery. That will be our first market show of the year. So the Feinics Gate will be there. The Talent Touch will be there, slinging some wares, get some Valentine's Day goodies. I'll have some custom candles ready for your Valentine's Day people, and I'll be doing tarot readings. Crimson will have a whole bunch of like cute little 3D printed stuff for you to purchase and play with. And as always, you can find us on every single bit of social media. We are on we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on Twitch, we are on YouTube. I am putting up more interviews that we have done from 2025, and I can't wait for the interviews that we have lined up for 2026. And stay tuned. Next week, our Lavender will be back with us. She took a little break because she didn't go to MAG, so she didn't want to feel sad talking about it. But she'll be back next week. So as always, and you know, the Feinics Nation, we appreciate you. We love you. And here's to 2026 being one of the best years that the Feinics Gate has ever had. Yep. So on that note, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Fire eyes from pain, which is blood and light.